Have you ever played a horror game that left you wondering, where's the actual horror? Well, today we're going to dive into Fears to Fathom Ironbark Lookout, a game that promised tension, mystery and atmosphere, but somehow fell short on almost every front. I'm going to be breaking down why this game didn't live up to its potential, and why unfortunately it ended up being more of a chore than an actual chill game session. Let's start with the basics, alright? Fears to Fathom Ironbark Lookout is a horror game that puts the player in the role of a forest lookout isolated in the woods. It sounds very intriguing, right? The setting and premise set up a lot of potential for tense and immersive experiences. However, the game quickly loses its footing in how it chooses to deliver the story and atmosphere. One of the first issues that drags this game down in the mud is its failure in creating suspense. The game relies heavily on slow movement and long uneventful walks. In horror games, slow pacing can be used to build up tension, but I feel like this game just fails to deliver it properly. It feels painfully sluggish. You spend a lot of time just walking through the woods or looking out from the watchtower with very little things happening. At times you're just completing mundane tasks like cooking food or filling out the service report on the computer, and it seems to add nothing to the plot or atmosphere. The feeling I got was more like doing an actual job and not being drawn into the thrilling experience of a horror game. Horror games should make you feel on edge and not bored, and sadly Ironbark Lookout just failed to keep me engaged. You'd think a horror game set in the middle of the woods would have no shortage of creepy or suspenseful moments, right? But somehow Ironbark Lookout falls flat on delivering those scares. Instead of building up to an intense moment or a shocking twist, the game often feels empty. You're just left waiting for something terrifying to happen, but that moment never really comes. It feels like being on a roller coaster that never quite reaches that drop. There's anticipation definitely, and there's a few little jump scares, but it's never really paid off the way it should. You feel more like a forest ranger on an actual slow shift than a character in a horror game. Another major frustration with this game is its lack of direction. There are no clear objectives, no guidance on where to go or what to do next, and at times you often feel lost and wondering what to do. This can be effective in horror games when it is done well, as it would force the player to explore places they wouldn't really want to, but in this game it just feels like poor design rather than an intentional choice. The lack of instructions leave me feeling lost in a way that's more confusing than scary. Instead of feeling tense or uneasy, you're just annoyed. And finally, the ending. After all that slow build up, wandering around the woods, watching around the watchtower, you'd expect a satisfying payoff, right? Unfortunately, the ending is underwhelming just like the rest of the game. It feels rushed, almost like the game is eager to end itself, and you're just left wondering if playing this game was actually worth it. I have played horror games on Roblox that are more scary than this game. So why did Fears to Fathom Ironbark Lookout fail as a horror game? It boils down to poor pacing, a lack of engaging moments, confusing design, and an anticlimactic payoff. These elements add up to the experience that feels less like a horror game and more like a slow, tedious simulation of a lonely night in the woods. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. If you didn't, it's cool, you can dislike it. And let me know your opinions in the comments section. I do know that a lot of people enjoy this game. Personally, this game just isn't for me. Everyone has their own opinion, and that's cool.